All right, today we have arrived at chapter 2 of Valentine's Day. As you saw last week, oysters were first course. This week, I'm going to show you the path to intercourse by poaching pears in red wine with chocolate. What do you say we get started? First, we have these Anjou pears that I'm going to peel. I'm going to cut in half, take out the core, and we're going to poach them in our red wine. Now, this red wine doesn't have to be anything specific. Go to the store, get something inexpensive because you're going to cook with it. You're also adding all these ingredients to it except for the chocolate. So it's not something that you really want to enjoy and drink and impress with. It's just something that we're going to use to cook with. We're going to add our sugar. I have a spice mix of nutmeg and cinnamon. And of course, our friend that we just spoke about, red wine. After that, I'm going to show you how to make chocolate sauce. I have these bittersweet chocolate discs, heavy cream, and sugar. First, we're going to take our pear, and I'm going to peel off the skin. Depending upon what peeler you have, I happen to like these. They're sharp, they're fast, and it kind of peels at you with your hand behind the pear. That way you don't have the risk of cutting yourself. Then I'm going to turn the pear over and I'm going to peel off the core, all the skin, and the stem. Then I'm going to take my knife and cut the pear in half. I'm going to take a smaller knife, or you can use a melon baller. Unfortunately, I don't have one today, but we'll use a knife. So we're going to hold the knife closest to the point. That way we can use our finger to the core so we don't go through the pear and into your other hand. And we're just going to make a round incision. See how I'm using my finger as a guide? I just pull out the seeds. And then I'm just going to make a quick V and pull out that bottom of the core. We don't want anything tough in our poached pears. We're going to take our peeled cored pear and we're going to pop it in our red wine. As you can see, I already had started a whole bunch of them because I am using these on my Valentine's Day menu. That's how serious I am about the path to intercourse. So I'm going to put my pears inside my red wine. I'm going to season it with cinnamon and nutmeg. I'm then going to finish it with some sugar. Now all that sugar is going to melt inside the red wine with the pears. It's going to create a syrup, which is going to give us a little bit of a sauce towards the end. Now I'm going to take a plate, regular everyday plate, and I'm going to float it on top of the pears so that the pears stay submerged in my red wine, cook evenly at a low temperature. This is going to take approximately 15 to 18 minutes. I'm going to put my cover on it so that we can watch them. That way, if any of them try to slip out through the sides, we can catch them before they try to get away. While that's working, I'm going to take my chocolate discs and make a chocolate sauce real quick. So first, I take my discs and put them into a metal bowl on top of a double boiler. If you look back to my chocolate mousse video, you'll see how fantastic red wine and chocolate go together. So I'm going to take a little bit of my red wine that I'm using for my pears, and I'm going to just splash it into my chocolate, and then about a half a cup of heavy cream and 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're gonna let all that chocolate melt together with the red wine and heavy cream and get warm. I'll take in a fork and I'm just going to incorporate the chocolate into the liquid while the sugar is melting. See that? See how smooth and creamy? Chocolate sauce. Who thought it would be so easy? Let's try it. Ah, delicious. because I'm cooking for the masses, I've taken out 2 pears and I've cooked them separately so that you can see what it looks like if you were going to do it at home. So we're just going to move this out of the way. These are almost finished. What we need to do now is take an ice bath. I'm going to take an ice bath, which is any container with water and ice cubes in it. And I'm going to take our poached pears with the liquid and I'm going to set it in it for about a half an hour. You want the pears to cool down in the poaching liquid. One, because the pears will take on the color of the red wine. The red wine has already been reduced, which is giving us somewhat of a sauce. So we can use this as a pear red wine syrup with our poached pears, and then we're going to top it off with our chocolate sauce. Now that our pears are cool after we've poached them in the red wine, I wanted to flip them over just so you can see how beautiful they are. This is what a poached pear should look like when it's finished. See that nice burgundy deliciousness of pear? I want to put them on my cutting board, face down. I've decided to use one of my mother's brownie recipes. Far be it for me to take you away from your family recipes. That's why I chose my mother's. So first we're gonna take our brownie. I'm gonna take my pear, small knife. I'm gonna fan out the pear. Fan it out, meaning I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna make incisions in it, not going all the way through to the end of it, so that when we put it on the plate, it's gonna fan out. But first, we need something to hold that pear on the brownie. I'm gonna take a little whipped cream. You know how to make whipped cream by now. We've done this already. And then we're gonna fan it out on the cutting board so that you can see the difference in what a poached pear should look like. Fan that out right on top. We're gonna take a little bit of our pear syrup and we're gonna drizzle that onto the pear, onto the plate. We're gonna take that delicious red wine chocolate sauce and finish our dessert. Happy Valentine's Day, lovers. Don't forget, Chef Jason loves you.